On an otherwise ordinary morning, the news spread quietly yet definitively. Elon Musk had acquired Twitter. There were no extravagant ceremonies or dramatic declarations, only a clear, matter-of-fact decision to take over the platform with the intent to improve it step by step. Musk believed that, beneath the surface of tweets and trending topics, Twitter held untapped potential if its inner workings were refined and made more efficient. Without delay, he set out to understand how the company operated on a daily basis. For several consecutive days, he spent long hours poring over reports, meeting with department heads, and walking through the bustling offices. His method was plain and practical. He wanted to learn every detail of the company's routines and technical systems. In his view, genuine improvement was not about flashy slogans but about steady progress built on realistic changes. As he toured the building, Musk observed employees engaged in their tasks, discussing routine problems and solving technical glitches without fanfare. The corridors hummed with the sound of soft conversations and clacking keyboards. In these quiet moments, it became apparent that while Twitter had a stable operation, there were also small inefficiencies that could be addressed with simple measures. Musk's own reputation for hands-on management led him to believe that improvement was best achieved by understanding firsthand what worked and what did not in the daily lives of the staff. Chapter 2. Noticing a hardworking employee. During one of these early visits, Musk's attention was drawn to a particular employee working in a busy technical support office. This employee, known to his colleagues simply as Alex, was not one to seek the spotlight. Every day, Alex arrived well before his shift was due and stayed late enough to ensure that all technical issues were resolved before the end of the day. His work was characterized not by grand innovations but by a consistent, reliable performance that kept the operations running smoothly. Alex's approach was unpretentious. He handled routine tasks and unexpected problems with equal calm, always methodically troubleshooting issues and ensuring that every system glitch was fixed promptly. His co-workers often mentioned that while others might overlook minor problems, Alex had an uncanny ability to spot inefficiencies and propose practical fixes, even if his suggestions were quietly delivered rather than loudly proclaimed. It was precisely this quiet, dependable work ethic that caught Musk's eye. Rather than being impressed by grand gestures, Musk appreciated steady competence, the kind that comes from genuine care for one's work and the smooth running of everyday operations. Chapter 3. A simple meeting. A few days after his initial observations, Musk arranged a brief and informal meeting with Alex. In a small, sparsely decorated conference room with a simple round table, the two men sat down to talk, without any ceremonial pomp. There were no elaborate presentations or rehearsed speeches. Instead, Musk asked direct questions. What common issues do you face every day? And how can we simplify these procedures? Alex answered honestly and clearly. He explained how certain software tools were outdated, how some internal workflows were unnecessarily complex, and how minor adjustments could save precious time. He described recurring technical glitches that, while never catastrophic, repeatedly slowed down routine operations. The conversation was unadorned and matter-of-fact, focusing solely on practical problems and realistic solutions. Musk listened attentively, nodding as he jotted down notes. There was a mutual understanding between them. The path to progress was not paved with grandiose promises, but with small, actionable changes that respected the company's established culture. After the meeting, both men agreed that the best way forward was to support the hardworking team at Twitter by addressing the inefficiencies they encountered daily. This initial dialogue laid the foundation for a series of practical measures that would later prove instrumental in making everyday work smoother for everyone at Twitter. As Musk left the meeting, he reflected on the value of genuine, unpretentious work. His decision to engage directly with employees like Alex was a signal that he intended to lead by example, listening carefully and acting on real-world experience rather than relying solely on high-level strategy. End of Part 1 of 2. Part 2 of 2. Chapter 4. Putting ideas into practice. Following the straightforward meeting with Alex, Musk was determined to translate simple ideas into tangible improvements. He convened a small task force composed of experienced team members from different departments. Alex was chosen to lead the technical subgroup. Their mission was clear: review current workflows, identify redundant or outdated procedures, and implement modest yet effective changes that would streamline operations without causing disruption. The task force met regularly in a series of unpretentious, focus sessions. In one meeting, team members reviewed the software systems used by the technical support unit. They found that several programs had not been updated in years, leading to occasional glitches that, although minor, caused delays. Alex proposed a series of updates and a slight reorganization of the workflow that, if implemented, would reduce these delays. Musk, favoring simple solutions, approved the proposals on the spot. The team then began to work on installing the new software patches and reorganizing the schedule for system maintenance. Every change was incremental, a small update here, a minor process adjustment there, but collectively, these improvements began to have a noticeable effect on efficiency. Over time, the meetings grew more constructive. Employees from various departments began contributing their own suggestions. The atmosphere was one of collaboration rather than hierarchy. Ideas were discussed openly, and even the smallest suggestion was given careful consideration. Musk continued to participate in these sessions, not to dominate the conversation but to offer guidance and reinforce the principle that progress comes from collective effort. His presence underscored a simple truth. When people are supported and heard, even the most modest improvements can accumulate into significant progress. The work of the task force was systematic and deliberate. They replaced outdated tools, streamlined data processing, and improved communication channels between technical support and other departments. Each change was tested thoroughly before being adopted permanently. The focus was always on making daily routines smoother and reducing the friction that often slowed down work. It was not a revolution but rather a steady march toward a more efficient and harmonious work environment. Chapter 5. A New Beginning. In the weeks that followed, the cumulative effects of these small changes began to reshape the daily life at Twitter. Tasks that once took much longer to complete were now handled more swiftly and with fewer errors. The technical glitches that had intermittently frustrated the staff were now rare occurrences. Employees felt a renewed sense of pride in their work because they saw that their ideas were being taken seriously and that practical improvements were being made. Musk continued to visit the offices regularly. Rather than issuing new mandates or grand declarations, he simply observed, asked simple questions, and listened to feedback. His down-to-earth approach encouraged more employees to share their observations and ideas, confident that their contributions could lead to real change. The new routine was built on a foundation of mutual respect and common-sense adjustments. Over time, the overall atmosphere became noticeably more positive. Workers found that even modest updates, such as a reconfigured support system or a revised maintenance schedule, had a significant impact on their day-to-day tasks. Alex's example became a symbol of what could be achieved through consistent effort and simple solutions. His steady approach and willingness to help others encouraged a broader cultural shift within Twitter. The message was clear. Progress does not require dramatic overhauls or excessive fanfare. Instead, it grows from listening to the people who do the work every day and from taking small, deliberate steps to remove obstacles. By the end of this period, the improvements had become a permanent part of Twitter's operations. The company was not transformed overnight. Rather, it evolved gradually into a more efficient and supportive workplace. Musk's acquisition of Twitter had been motivated not by a desire for flashy changes, but by the recognition that even the smallest, practical measures could significantly enhance productivity and morale. The new beginning at Twitter was characterized by a shared commitment to making things work better. Step by step, day by day, every employee, from the most senior manager to the quiet technician like Alex, played a role in this transformation. The focus on practical improvements and respect for hard work became the cornerstone of the company's renewed vision. As Twitter continued to evolve, the lessons from these early changes remained clear. True progress comes from simple, everyday actions that build on each other over time. This story is a reminder that success does not always come from bold, sweeping reforms. Instead, it often arises from the collective power of small, well-considered steps taken consistently over time. Elon Musk's approach, listening to his employees, recognizing everyday excellence, and acting on practical ideas, proved that even in a large and complex organization, true change can start with one simple conversation.